Oh, Miss Cap, you look so pretty. Where are you going today?
I'm off to big school.
That's really exciting. Are you scared? You've only ever been to daycare and preschool.
I was a little scared, but my mum found out about how I can be really ready for school from a website. And today, Pollyanna is talking to Laura Mackenzie, who looks after all of that for the Department of Education on the Central Coast.
Sounds great. Let's do it!
Hello, I'm Pollyanna Forshaw, and we're continuing the series, since we can't do Kids Stay Out this year, we're continuing with interviews with people who are specifically involved in preschool education and early childhood. Today, Laura Mackenzie is with me. Laura,
Hi.
can you tell us what your role is and what does it involve?
Sure. I work for the Department of Education and it's on a partnership funded government project. The project's called the Central Coast Transition to School Projects. And my role is basically to work with members of the community, parents, service providers, early educators to help with school readiness and to work towards mentally healthy children starting big school. Before that, I was a teacher in a primary school for 15 years. And so it's really lovely to step out and work further with the community because early childhood is one of my passions.
It is a very passionate area and it may be lovely for you, but I'm sure that you've had some challenges this year in dealing with the COVID. What have been some of the challenges for parents that you've discovered?
Well, where do I start? There's been a lot of challenges for parents and early educators, especially around the area of school readiness. That's because one of the most important things in getting ready for school is allowing children to be social and emotional, healthy beings. And because we've been so caught up with the COVID crisis, we haven't been able to get out and about. Things have either stopped or moulded into digital form. For example, supported playgroups have gone online. So that actual human connection and that practice with social and emotional development has been lost. So that's been one of the biggest challenges. Another challenge when it comes to school readiness for parents is actually knowing what's been going on. What in the community is there out there that can help me get my child ready for school. And at the height of the COVID crisis, when we were all really worried about what was happening and we didn't know what was going on, a lot of children were taken out, withdrawn from early childhood practices. So
Why did you find they were withdrawn?
Because parents weren't really quite sure what to do. And a lot of the time there was, a bit of insecurities around the health aspect of it. And also a lot of families lost their jobs and they weren't really sure if they were going to be able to pay for it. So there was a lot of insecurities, a lot of uncertainties at the time.
When you say pay for it, for preschool?
Yeah, actually being able to have the funds to pay for it. And it wasn't until quite some time into it that the government, put into place what they were going to do with the free childcare. So a lot of parents were just up in the air. And I think, to be honest with you, I think the majority of parents did withdraw their children because of the health aspect.
Laura, because there are limited opportunities for parents to have the formal transitional training, have you got some practical ideas of what they can do at home? I do know one that I was told many years ago, make sure a child is ready with scissors, the ability to just use a pair of scissors before they start school.
Yeah. Well, the scissors is really handy, but it's not the most important thing, especially if you really value your blinds or your children's hairstyles, because that can be a bit tricky. But the good news, Polly, is that with restrictions in place and everything going on and limited transitional activities, parents can have confidence to know that they're probably already getting their children ready for school and they just don't know about it. But some hints and tips that I have are to develop your children's social and emotional skills the best way possible. And the really only way to do that is to allow them to play.
And how do they do that in this COVID time?
It's really difficult. So instead of maybe getting together in your big groups or going to those playlands where you might be used to going, if there are restrictions in place, maybe just allowing the children to play with their siblings, their cousins, their neighbours. Any practice of play is going to be beneficial because that's where they're going to start fostering social and emotional skills. They're going to come up against conflict and they're really going to start to build resilience, which is what they're going to need when they get to school. In terms of independent skills, like the scissors, I would say that one of the very biggest tips that I have is around the recognition of a child's name. I know that we concentrate a lot on getting children to learn how to write their name, but that will come with time, and it certainly is very handy if they can write their own name. But the absolute important thing is being able to recognise their own name, because once they get to school, they're going to have to know, for example, if their name is Beautiful Charlie, that's where Charlie's bag goes, or that sign on the wall says Charlie, so that's the group that I have to stand under. Or it might look different and it's smaller, but that still says Charlie, and that's where I need to sit for the day.
Or in a different colour.
Absolutely. So one of the tips that I have for parents is to play a name hunt game, and that's often quite fun. And with that, what you would do really simply is write Charlie out on all different colours, in all different fonts. You can print it out, place it around the house, and have your child find Charlie, or whatever their name is, as many times as they can, and bring it to you. And it really is just about practice, practice, practice when it comes to that. Other independent skills, good questions that they can ask themselves is, can my child open up their own lunchbox, open up packets, start to peel their own fruit? Toileting skills, are they confident in that area? And can they put on and take off their own jackets and know to then go and place that in their bag? So
I almost want to have kids again just so I can do all this.
Yeah, it is
Sounds like fun.
It is fun. It is fun. And parents are doing it, and they needn't worry. They're actually doing a really good job of it.
Well, we did in the past.
Yes.
I know that they've all come through. Laura, thank you for the information so far. Where can parents go if they want more information, or grandparents, because often they're looking after the grandchildren?
Yeah, absolutely. So parents and carers should definitely try their hardest to contact their child's local school. And if they're still not sure of where their child should go to school locally, there's a school finder available on the Department of Education website. And if you're not sure how to access that one, just Google Department of Education schools and they'll be able to find that. But there's also, through my project, there's a great website, Polly, out there called Central Coast transitiontoschool.com.au. And what you can find on that website is a series of videos where I'll go through different aspects of school readiness and chat to you about that. And also there's lots of downloadable or printable activities where kids can practice things, or where parents can access further information. So that's a really valuable website.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Sounds really valuable.
Yeah.
What final message can you give to parents and to grandparents who are looking after little ones before they start school?
Well,
School.
I have lots of messages, but my very my biggest message to parents out there is that you're doing a fantastic job. This year has been one very crazy year, but transition in general is the biggest change in a child's young life. Regardless of COVID or regardless of anything else going on in life, transition and change is really anxiety driving, and that feeling that you're actually feeling is very normal. So I would encourage you to really just believe in yourself, to keep going with what you're doing, access everything that we've been able to provide for you today, and look for services that you might see on things like these videos, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Transition to school doesn't just happen when they start kindergarten. It'll continue on for those very important 3 infants years of kinder year 1 and year 2. And I would really encourage you to reach out and to communicate with your school, because through communication, that's how we're really going to bring up a mentally healthy society.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Laura.
No worries.
It's
Thanks
been
for
wonderful.
having me. Thank you.
That was Laura Mackenzie, the Central Coast coordinator of the Transition to Schools project run by the Department of Education. If you want to know a little bit more about what Laura does and a little bit more about the resources that she was directing you to, she has provided a link which will go into the credits. So make sure you follow up, follow the website, and wait for the next interview.